Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The US military has carried out an airstrike targeting Iran-backed militias in Syria in the first military action undertaken by the Biden administration.
We're confident in the target that we went after. We know what we did.
The Pentagon said this strike was ordered in response to attacks against US and coalition personnel in Iraq, saying the action destroyed multiple facilities used by Iranian-backed Iraqi militant groups. Militia officials said one person had been killed, but a war monitor reported at least 22 fatalities. It came after a civilian contractor was killed in a rocket attack on US targets earlier this month. New witnesses report that Eritrean troops fighting in Ethiopia's northern region of Tigray killed hundreds of people in Aksum. The international NGO Amnesty International reports the mass killings in November may amount to a crime against humanity. Ethiopia and Eritrea, which both officially deny Eritrean soldiers are in Tigray, have not commented. The Ethiopian Human Rights Commission says the report should be taken seriously and that it was investigating the allegations. Protests continue in the capital of Myanmar despite a heavy military presence after the army coup that deposed the democratically elected leader Aung San Suu Kyi. Protesters sat behind makeshift barricades in the capital Naypyidaw. The army has promised a new election but has not set a date. A vote is not expected until after a one-year state of emergency the military imposed when it seized power on February the 1st. The UK Supreme Court has ruled that a British-born woman who went to Syria as a schoolgirl to join Islamic State should not be allowed to return to Britain because she poses a security risk. SHAMIMA BEGUM left London in 2015 when she was just 15 and went to Syria via Turkey with two school friends where she married an Islamic State fighter. Begum, who is being held in a detention camp in Syria, was stripped of her British citizenship in 2019. The Court of Appeal previously agreed she could only have a fair appeal of that decision if she were allowed back to Britain. An explosion has destroyed a cafe building and injured at least 3 people in a Russian city 400 kilometers east of Moscow. The blast in Nizhny, Novgorod occurred in the annex of a 12-story residential building where the cafe was located. At least 3 people sustained injuries. It wasn't immediately clear what caused the explosion. Queen Elizabeth has urged the public to think about other people and get the COVID jab when they are offered one.
Well, once you've had the vaccine, you have a feeling of, you're protected, which is, I think, very important.
The British monarch, who is 94, received her first dose of the vaccine in January with her husband, Prince Philip. In a video call with health leaders delivering the COVID vaccine, she said she understood getting a jab could be a difficult experience for some people, but urged everyone to think about other people rather than themselves.
It is obviously difficult for people if they've never had a vaccine.
A group of Russian diplomats and their families have made a rather unusual exit out of North Korea on a hand-pushed rail trolley due to COVID measures. The 8 people travelled by train and bus before pushing themselves across the Russian border for about 1 kilometre over train tracks. North Korea has blocked most passenger transport to limit the virus's spread. And finally, NASA rover Perseverance has sent new stunning 360-degree pictures from Mars.
Here's how we laid out the panorama. You see how
the images taken by Perseverance show mountains in the distance and rock formations seemingly shaped by exposure to the elements over the course of billions of years. Perseverance travelled through the thin Martian atmosphere to a gentle touchdown last week inside a vast basin called Jezero Crater. NASA presented a brief audio clip on Monday, captured by microphones on the rover after its arrival, that included the murmur of a light wind gust, the first ever recorded on the 4th planet from the Sun. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.